there are those pros and cons, those balances.
No, you just never know who's working there. That makes it sound so bad.
Would fire the bad people.
This person told me to get a real job. Hi guys, welcome back. This is probably a very rare sight for you guys to see not only a video on a Wednesday, but also my husband. We are going to be doing these like little bonus videos on Wednesdays, not every Wednesday, but an occasional Wednesday. And it's going to be more like podcasty style. So think like just talking, sit down, but it's definitely not gonna be the length of like a podcast. More of a shortened version. If you are new here, my name's Alora and I make motherhood, faith, and lifestyle content. And this is my husband, Kyle. He's like a unicorn. He rarely makes an appearance because I usually film while he's at work. And then when he's home, I usually put the camera away. So, a unicorn sighting today, but he will be in my Wednesday bonus video from here on out. These Wednesday videos will not be fancy. They'll just be like me and you FaceTiming, chatting about different topics in life. And that's basically what these videos are. So if you have any sort of topic that you would like us to discuss, let me know in the comments below. It can literally be anything. We are talking about why we chose for me to stay home with our kids. And this topic was actually sparked by a comment actually on a reel that I posted. And this comment was more of a negative comment towards stay-at-home moms. Should I read the comment? Should I read the comment?
I mean, I don't know if you really want to or not.
Maybe I'll read a little bit of the comment. Well, first off, this person told me to get a real job, which this comment did not bother me at all. I'm not offended. I'm a very confident person in terms of how I am as a stay-at-home mom and as a wife. Like, this person was probably just having a bad day. We'll just give him the benefit of the doubt. He said that his mother is a real mom, one who works for her children and also cooks and cleans and makes sure they get to clubs. Then he's referring to me as he's saying this. This woman is not strong and I'm sick of us normalizing the softening of women. And, you know, whatever. Like, one thing I don't like it to me is negative comments of someone who doesn't know me, a complete stranger. It doesn't bother me. If I knew this person in real life and he told me this face to face, I might cry. But again, this is just some random guy, probably having a bad day, came across my video and was just saying what was on his mind. So in terms of that comment, obviously he did not see the value of a stay-at-home mom. And let me just say that if you're a working mom or you're a stay-at-home mom, we're both just doing our best. We're both sacrificing something, whether it be our time or an income. But at the end of the day, we're doing it for our kids. And we're both doing a great job. We're both strong women. And you should feel confident in whatever you are doing. You should be confident in that decision. So, I guess we'll jump on in. I guess, what's your perspective of a stay-at-home mom and me staying home while you go to work? What do you think of that?
I don't really have a problem with it. I think that it is something that this work has to be done no matter what, whether you're coming home later on or whether you have somebody that's already there to be able to take care of it. So the work's got to get done one way or another, and it just happens that for us, it works better to have one parent at home and one out working. And you know, we made that choice for a variety of factors, which we're going to get into a little bit later. But yeah, I don't really have any issues with it because it makes our lives a lot easier. It just makes our lives work a whole lot better than to navigate and try to come up with the logistics of who's picking up from daycare and who's doing the meal planning for tonight, who's gonna make dinner and all that stuff. And then everybody's tired because we've all just got back from work, and so nobody really wants to do any of that kind of stuff. So it's just a lot. So it helps to have somebody at home that's able to hold down that side of things.
When I became a stay-at-home mom, he's a very practical thinker. He makes decisions based off of what's practical. And when we, thought about being a stay-at-home mom, we thought of all the practical reasons as to why it would be a better choice than if I were to go to work. And the biggest one of them all is the cost of childcare, daycare. And that, I feel like for a lot of families, that's like the main reason why they have a parent who stays home is just because childcare, it's like the income that they would have brought in would just go straight to childcare, and at the end of the day, it just doesn't make it worth it. And I was actually Googling, at least in my state, what the average cost of childcare is, and I was seeing numbers as high as $16,000 annually.
Annually, okay.
A little over $1,000 a month. Yeah, I was like seeing something as high as that, and like I'm thinking back to when I was working before kids, and you guys, I worked a dead end job, and so it wouldn't have covered, especially 2 kids. That was for 1 kid. And then actually as your kid gets into the toddler stage, it goes up.
And you don't want to go cheap on those either.
Exactly.
Because then you're wondering who in the world is taking care of your kid for that whole time.
Sometimes daycares just hire people, and you don't, like, they just hire people. They don't really vet.
Well, yeah,
people.
there's not, other than obviously background check and stuff like that, there's not the same level of standards. Like as a teacher, we have certifications we have to go through. Obviously there's college and stuff like that. There's tests that you have to take. There's so many steps that have to be taken before you can finally get into the classroom and do the job. And when it comes to daycare, there's not really those kind of hurdles.
I worked in a really good daycare. I worked at a Christian daycare before I became a stay-at-home mom. I did have to get a background check and everything like that. And obviously, because I worked at a Christian daycare, they really emphasized faith as well. But like, I didn't have a college degree to show, or I didn't really even have much work to show. Not that I wasn't good in the daycare, it's just, you know, you just never know who's working there. That makes it sound so bad. That makes it sound so bad.
Hopefully they would fire the bad people, you know. But.
Right. No, our point is like if you want to send your kid to a prestigious daycare, you're paying, right? Like, and every parent wants to send their kid to the best.
Yeah.
Every parent wants to do that. It's just sometimes you can't afford that, and that's just kind of the cards some people are handed. But for us, it just made sense for me to stay home and not have to go to work and deal with the stress of work, and then have most of my paycheck go to childcare and then come home and do more work. Which brings us to point number 1 was just the cost of childcare, and then point number 2 is, with me being home, our home runs efficiently. Our home is nice and orderly, and I don't know what it would look like if I wasn't home and we were both working. I don't think our home would be as peaceful as it is now. I mean, as peaceful as you can with 2 young kids. You know, they're kind of loud, but there's dinner on the table every night. The house is relatively clean. Like, I just feel like that our home runs so much more efficiently with me home.
Like you said, with the efficiency part of it, you were able to accomplish things that otherwise would require somebody to take off work. You know, kids have so many doctor's appointments and things that they have to go to on a regular time, and we all know doctors don't really work around people's work schedules. You show up when they want you to. They're not open during the weekends and stuff like that. So having a parent home is great, because then you don't have to worry about any of those things. You just check it off the box and keep on going, because you can fit it into that weekly schedule that, it's a 1:30 child checkup for for Caspian or something, and so it doesn't matter. We could just go and do it. Don't have to work around schedules, get a babysitter, call off work, and all those sorts of things. It's just, you go do it.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. That's actually something I never even considered, was the appointments. And obviously the more kids you have, the more appointments you have. And kids, they just get, and like right now we're in kind of that 6th season, and it just seems like there's things just going on constantly, and the kids have runny noses, and it definitely, like, I feel like if I was working, it would definitely have complicated things for sure. But it's just nice knowing that I'll be home tomorrow all day with the kids, because I'm a stay-at-home mom. And that, I think that does, kind of bring us back to our home running more efficiently. Point number 3 is, and not so much him, but more me, is I get to witness all of their new developments and milestones. I know when I worked at the daycare, I worked in the toddler room, but I also worked very closely in the infant room as well. And there were so many developments that I got to witness before the parent. And it kind of made me feel really bad about it. I mean, it was really exciting to see this child walk for the first time or clap their hands, but at the same time, it's like I shouldn't be the one seeing this firsthand. This should be, and that's not to make any parent feel guilty at all. If you have to work to provide for your family to make ends meet, like, I respect that 110%. I was very much open to working a job while being a mom, but it just worked out that we could afford for me to stay home. So again, I respect moms who go to work, and that's something that they have to sacrifice to go to work. And like I said, all of us moms are all sacrificing something. We don't have this perfect life. Life is a bunch of sacrifices. And so one of the beneficial things to be a stay-at-home mom is mostly me. I mean, you too though, because as a teacher, he's home a lot because he's a teacher. So the whole summer months, lots of breaks. I feel like
yeah, and that is in a roundabout way a sacrifice too, because teachers don't get paid as much as other, bachelor degree professions out there, but we do get that more freedom as far as time off and things like that. So there are those pros and cons, those balances that you have. So I like the time off, and we make the money work, and so it ends up being a blessing more than a curse.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't even describe to you how much of a blessing is that he's home all the time. It's a blessing. It really is. And so he's actually gotten to witness a lot of our kids' development because he does have a lot of time off with being a teacher. And I would say the same goes as for a stay-at-home mom. Obviously, we're home all day with our kids, and so we see everything that happens. And I would say that's been a huge blessing, being home with our kids and seeing all those milestones happen before your eyes. If you're a parent, then you know what I mean. On to point number 4, and that is just, you tend to just have a slower life when one parent goes to work and one parent stays home, and it kind of goes back to that efficiency. You don't feel this busyness when you get home from work and having to decide what's for dinner, and the house is a mess, and the kids need this and this and this. It really comes down to the fact that when one parent is home and one parent's working, life feels a little bit slower, which is, in my opinion, that's a good thing. I think busyness is good, but busyness can also feel overwhelming. And we don't feel that overwhelming busyness of life with where we're at in life right now, with me being home.
Yeah, when you have somebody that's able to check off those tasks throughout the day, then there's less things to do in the evening time. And so then that's kind of where the slow period comes into play, and things are a little bit slower.
Yeah, our weekends, I know a lot of working parents, their weekends are kind of very valuable to them because that's when they're able to get a lot of their things done. I know that's when a lot of people get their chores done and their grocery shopping and all the things that you need for having a home and having a family. And for us, our weekends are never busy. And it's it almost kind of feels boring in a way, but boring is good. And I would say our weekends are usually family time for us. That's when we like to go visit family, go do something, because we really have no other obligations in terms of running errands and grocery shopping, cleaning the house, or anything like that. So it definitely is a blessing in that way, where while he's at work providing, I'm filling in the gaps here at home, which is grocery shopping, chores, doctor's appointments, and random miscellaneous errands here and there. And our final point as to why we chose for me to stay home with our kids is that we just save money in small ways. We obviously save money with childcare, and I feel like that's a very obvious way to save money, but we actually save money in other ways as well. I'm home, and so I have a homemade home-cooked meal. I always have a homemade meal ready for us to eat, and And it kind of goes back to, again, efficiency. Instead of two parents coming home from work deciding what on earth to eat for dinner, and neither one of you want to cook, so you just go out. Well, because I'm home and I have time and the energy, I cook at home, I would say 99% of the time. And we hardly go out to eat. It's because really there's no excuse to go out to eat. I can cook us a meal, so.
Well, I would just even add in the whole meal planning.
It's
a whole issue itself. You're trying to come up with these meal plans for a week, or in Laura's case, a month, and that takes time to do unless you spend more money to buy somebody else's meal plan. And so doing all of that requires time, and again, nobody really wants to do that when they come home from work. I mean, sure, you could do it on the weekend as well, but again, it's that energy part of it. How much of a go-getter are you to be able to do all that stuff?
Yeah, the meal planning, I feel like the longer you do it, the easier it is. But sometimes I would spend a long time trying to plan a month's worth of meals, because I like variety. We both kind of grew up in homes where we ate the same meal over and over and over again. And so it's made me really value variety. And so I try to do a different meal every single day of the month. Having the time to actually sit down and meal plan has, in return, saved us a lot of money because we are just way less likely to go out to eat. And I feel like when you have a plan, it takes off the stress of asking yourself what's for dinner. Like, you've already made that decision as to what's going to be for dinner. So yeah, having a meal plan has definitely saved us money.
And you're less wasteful in groceries too, because you know what to buy. You're not going to the grocery store hungry and you've already known what you need to get. You're not going to buy 50 of something and then only use 3 of it and throw the rest away because it rotted. Yeah. You have a plan for every single thing that you bought and you know it's going to be used. So again, efficiency.
It does.
Comes right down to it, not really wasting things either.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like the 2 main reasons why we chose for me to be home is childcare cost and then just the efficiency of how the house is ran. That's why I'm home with our kids. And this is a temporary thing. I have every intention of going back to work once our kids are in school, and I'm not needed at home anymore because there's no kids to take care of during the day. And so I will be going back to work once all of our kids in school. It's gonna be a while, but this is where we're at right now in life, and this is the season we're in where we're one income. I'm home with our kids all day, and this is what works for us right now. So that is the end of our little podcasty conversation. I know this was probably kind of cheesy. We're literally sitting near our turd wall. So definitely not a professional setup. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave topic ideas in the comments below, and we'll see you guys in another video. Bye, friends.